Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Friday, November 6th, 2015. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. The general public is advised that the interdenominational service for Remembrance Day will take place on Sunday, November 8th, 2015. Nevis will join the rest of the Commonwealth for the observance of Remembrance Day with the service in the memory of the soldiers of St. Kitts and Nevis and Anguilla. The service will commence at 8 a.m. at the War Memorial in Charlestown. Remembrance Day is recognized annually on November 11th, but the parade and the ceremonial events are carried out on Remembrance Day Sunday in St. Kitts and Nevis. The day is celebrated in recognition of the soldiers who died fighting in the First and the Second World Wars. The red poppy, which has become a familiar emblem of Remembrance Day, will be worn by those in attendance. The poppy flower was made popular by the poem In Flanders Field. The flower is said to have bloomed across some of the worst battlefields of Flanders in World War I, and its brilliant color is a symbol of the blood spilled in the wars. The reduced value-added tax VAT rate today has been agreed upon and confirmed by the Federal Ministry of Finance in conjunction with the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce to be Friday, December 18, 2015. According to the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service, the payment of monthly salaries and pensions will be made on Thursday, December 17, 2015, instead of the originally scheduled date of Friday, December 18, 2015, to facilitate consumers. Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris says the decision by the Cabinet to have one VAT day instead of two this year is a part of the government's agenda of recalibration in the context of renewed fiscal discipline and the reality that already for this year, $100 million of concessions have been delivered to the private sector. Prime Minister Harris also makes the point that his administration has already removed VAT from food, medicines, and funeral expenses. The Ministry of Tourism last evening concluded a two-part information session with industry stakeholders to discuss matters which will affect the tourist season. The first session took place on Wednesday, November 4th, just 4 days into the 2015-2016 tourist season and ahead of the start of the cruise season. Production Development Officer Nicole Liebert chaired the meeting.
The Ministry of Tourism values feedback and input from our stakeholders and look at this morning's session as an invaluable opportunity to exchange information with you, to gather information and feedback from you on a way that we can work together in partnership for the development of the product of Nevis.
Liebert also made a presentation on ministry sites and taxi operations. The information sessions saw participation from Minister of Tourism the Honorable Mark Brantley, representatives of local hotels and restaurants, the Nevis Taxi Drivers Association, the Queen City Taxi Association, the Nevis Tourism Authority, the Communications Unit in the Ministry of Tourism, the Nevision Heritage Village, and the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society. Permanent Secretary Carl Williams reminded them that tourism is the lifeblood of Nevis's economy.
The cooperation and support of our stakeholders over the last season was quite good, and we are expecting it to continue. We would have had some challenges, but we are hoping that this year we can solve some of these problems and move forward in a very positive way. This morning, our purpose here is to hear from you, our stakeholders, of your expectations, your concerns, etc., as well as the ministry providing some information and guidance as to where we are with our product development, because as you're aware, we deal specifically with product development, whereas the NTA will deal with marketing. However, we have to develop the product in order for NTA to have things to market. And so we would like some input and some feedback from you as to where you think our products are and how we can improve. And we're expecting that moving forward, we can work together as a team to ensure that our tourism industry survives and is very meaningful, sustainable, and of great benefit to all Nevisians.
Assistant Secretary John Hanley briefed the stakeholders on the 2012 Nevis taxi and tour bus legislation, highlighting what is expected of a professional taxi workforce discussing the importance of improving the levels of discipline, transparency, and professionalism among taxi operators, outlining minimum standards, improving the image of the taxi subsector, and the importance of empowering the two taxi associations on the island. Still to come.
But I want to start first of all by saying thank you. And it's always good to say thanks. I want to thank Mr. Augustine Merchant.
The details after this break.
Hi, I am Akeisha Fergus, your 2015 Miss Caribbean Culture Queen, and I am partnering with the Inland Revenue Department, NEVIS, to bring to you this important message. Do you know that your tax dollars aid in healthcare, education, infrastructure, and even cultural development? Yes, your tax dollars does all of that. So pay your taxes on time and be a responsible citizen.
Welcome back.
But I want to start first of all by saying thank you. And it's always good to say thanks. I want to thank Mr. Augustine Merchant, a son of the soil and someone who would have been a part of agriculture ever since he was a little boy.
The Honorable Alexis Jeffers, in his capacity as Minister of Agriculture, attended the November 3rd opening ceremony of a workshop on protected agricultural systems. The training was coordinated by the Department of Agriculture in collaboration with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA, where Augustine Merchant is the national representative.
Mr. Merchant came up through the system here on NEVIS, the Department of Agriculture, and he didn't just abandon NEVIS. He didn't abandon the effort he would have put in also in the past, and he has certainly come back to us from time to time to impart his knowledge, to lend his expertise, and to ensure that NEVIS gets what is due to NEVIS from his organization, AICA. And we are very thankful to him because the same greenhouse that would be used for the training or as a model that we have here was presented by his organization or the organization that he represents, AICA, along with CARDI. And for that we are very thankful because we have seen the benefits of that shade house so far, or that greenhouse. And as a matter of fact, when you get a chance to visit that greenhouse, you'll understand what I'm saying in terms of the production and the productivity that we've had from that greenhouse so far. And for that, I want to thank you, Mr. Merchant.
In expressing appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, Minister Jeffers described the merchant as a model citizen.
The hallmark of a good citizen is to not abandon where you have come from, but to give back whenever the time comes to give back. And we certainly want to thank you very much for that. And they said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I believe you would have gotten a lot from the Department of Agriculture over the years, and you're giving back now, and we are very thankful. And that is what you call a model citizen.
Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. The Community Festival Gingerama is being revived by its 2015 committee members in collaboration with the Nevis Island Administration's Department of Community Development. This year, the Gingerama Festival will consist of activities including the Miss Gingerette and the Gingerama swimwear pageants and the Ginger Jam, along with other cultural activities. At a press conference held yesterday, Thursday, November 5th, Nikita Liebert, head committee member of the TDC-sponsored Miss Gingerette pageant, outlined the details of that show.
The Miss Gingerette pageant is a show for young girls. It's something like a Miss Petite show. We have 6 contestants, ages 9 to 11. One of these segments to look forward for is called the Ginger Culture. That will be the first segment. The Ginger Culture, this is where each contestant they depict either a place or a person in or from Gingerland. So not only will you be having fun and it will also be entertaining, you also have a part where you can learn as well.
The cost of tickets for the Miss Gingerette pageant will be $20 for adults and $10 for children. Rosalind Berkeley is one of the committee members for the Miss Gingerama swimsuit contest.
The swimsuit pageant consists of 4 segments. There's the fanfare, of course, that segment will not be judged. This is with all the contestants, they make that appearance on stage together. There's the identical swimwear, which all of the contestants will be wearing exactly the same swimwear, and this is because we want to see how physically fit each contestant is. We have the two-piece swimwear, and this is the girl's choice in color, in style, everything. We also have the creative wear swimwear, which they can use different things around you like leaves. They can use plastic bags, paper, folded paper, anything that they feel comfortable in using. It's basically their style, their creation.
Females between the ages of 18 and 30 living in the Gingerland area and who are interested in entering the Miss Gingerama swimsuit pageant can contact Sidama Jones at 667-6844. Sandra Brown, Community Development Officer in the Department of Community Development, spoke about the cultural activities which will be hosted on Saturday, December 19th.
We're going to have maypole dancing, domino competition, cassava musa demonstration, bun eating competition, beer drinking competition, fishing game, bouncing castle for the kids, lucky dip. We're going to have basketball and netball games. For the food fair, it's $100, and for the 4-day event, it's going to be $250. So I think that all boot owners would be able to afford that. So please support the Gingerama Committee in our endeavor to revive the Gingerama Festival.
Persons interested in operating a booth at the Gingerama Village can contact Sandra Brown at 661-7567. The festival will also include a street jam dubbed the Ginger Jam. Outlining the details of that activity was committee member Corey Tyson.
The jam starts at 5:30 and we are starting at Best Buy, in the Best Buy area parking lot, and we would be heading east towards Zion, make a turn by Knacker's tire shop that's on the top of Zion Hill, coming back through Gingerland over through to Central, making a turn at Central and heading up towards Coney, once we get to Coney's house, once we get back to Gingerland. So we will be passing Market Shop twice. We are hoping to have a wet zone somewhere in that area. That's yet to be confirmed, but I'm very confident that we will be able to pull that one off. So I'm appealing to everyone to come on out and have some good old-fashioned fun. We'll be offering prizes for the best Ginger Reveler costume.
The slogan for Gingerama 2015 is reviving our culture, preserving our heritage. The festival will take place from Thursday 17th to Sunday 20th December 2015. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. Thank you for viewing. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Good night.